Well, hello there, Sean the Extra Guy here. It is a time to stream. Yeah, wake up late. I was intending to like stream a little bit earlier, but yeah. And yet again, I don't have the schedule done. I was supposed to get that out last night, but I got sidetracked with things. Anyway, let's just get right into it. I'm late, so at least I think I would say I'm late. Alrighty. There we go. I was waiting for it to detect it. Alright. So this is possibly the last stream of this game. Possibly. If we get through however many parts there are to this trial. I assume this is actually the last part of it. Alright.
Good morning. Oh, are you by yourself?
Morning, Pearls.
Mr. Nick, please tell me what's going to happen to Mystic Maya.
I'm sorry. We don't know yet. The investigation is still going on, so I wasn't allowed into the inner temple.
Oh, I see. So is Sister Iris still trying to remove those trick locks in the training hall?
No, she's the defendant in this case, so she can't be at the inner temple. She's required to be here in court.
Then how come she's not here in the defendant's lobby?
I have to admit, it's kind of strange. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. I think it's gonna be him. Oh no. If you're looking for Iris, she's in the prosecutor's lobby. Edgeworth? What's Iris doing over there? She's going over today's testimony with the prosecutor as we speak. Today's testimony? You heard me. Iris is going to be testifying as a witness for the prosecution. Wait, what? The prosecutor is squeezing her for a confession. Or so I heard. Francesca von Karma, what are you up to? I know what you're thinking, but Francesca isn't going to be the prosecutor today. What? Then who is? Who else would it be but Godot? Godot? Godot. Francesca is engaged in some important work at the Sacred Cavern.
The Sacred Cavern? You don't mean that she's...
Exactly. She's been out there all night trying to remove those tricked locks. With the head nun's assistance, naturally. We estimate that the last of the locks should be taken care of in about 3 hours. I hope everything continues to go smoothly and we receive some good news soon. Yeah. Thanks, Edgeworth. Prosecutor Godot intends to nail this case shut today. Be prepared to fight like there's no tomorrow. You don't have to tell me that. Touché. I can already see it in your eyes. You're not the same fever-ridden, frantic maniac you were yesterday. It's strange. On the way here, I decided that today would be the end of all this. Almost immediately after I made that decision, I felt myself getting stronger. Interesting. Maybe you passed your cold onto someone else, literally. And with that, I leave the rest in your capable hands. Partner. Partner? He called me partner.
If worst comes to worst, I'll frame Maya to butt us more time. Pretty easy to do that.
Oh, God. I'm actually going to say that. Say this one again. And hello, Blue. I leave the rest in your capable hands, partner. Thanks. Partner. He gonna leave the rest in my hands because I'm his partner. Yeah, I'm a deputy. What the fuck? I'm a deputy. I'm gonna catch him. Okay, anyway. I still don't have answers for most of the riddles plaguing this case. Feet. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Dunham. No. The circumstances around the murder of Miss Elise Dunham. No. I mean, Miss Misty Fey. The impossible flight Larry claims to have seen. And what that woman is really after. I will solve them all and bring this whole tragedy to an end. Ugh. All right. Am I still giving him the, Wait, I thought it was going to be the judge from the other trial. I mean, I thought it was going to be, Blondie judge. Now it's him again? Isn't this like a little unorthodox, having two judges in a fucking trial? Alright, anyway. Court is now in session for the trial of Iris of Hazakura Temple. Your Honor? What are you... Who, me? Well, my little brother came to visit me in my chambers earlier this morning. All of a sudden, in the blink of an eye, he developed a scorching fever and fainted. Therefore, I'll be standing in for him. I see, Your Honor. So they're brothers. That explains a lot. Explains why their voices keep changing. Or maybe they're the same person. Maybe he's lying. Oh, God. My poor brother. He looked a bit pale, not to mention sad that he couldn't be here. But, excuse me. What's next? We change the defendant? Yeah, we're just gonna put Maya on trial now. She ain't even fucking here. She's locked in the sacred realm or something. I don't, anyway. She's really hungry. She needs a burger. It's impossible to predict what the future has in store for any of us. This is precisely why people feel the need to judge the past. And we of the court have been charged with the solemn duty of passing such judgment. Well said, Mr. Godot. I understand exactly what you said, at least up until the end, anyway. Now then, Mr. Godot, please proceed with your opening statement. Humans are fragile, fickle beings. Our hearts change with the shifting of the tides. Phoenix transferred his cold somehow to the judge's younger brother.
Because we can't reach Maya, we drew this perfect cardboard cutout thanks to Larry Butts, who will stand by for her. Phoenix, you'll be pretending to talk like Maya for us.
Why did he enter with it? Fucking... He entered with a re. I can't believe. He entered with an autistic screech. Anyway, now I'm thinking of that one fucking, the video of, the fucking, the Iran, supreme leader. He's made of cardboard. They're showing him the ground. I'm like, this has gotta be fake. This has gotta be fucking fake. No, it ain't fake. Oh, God. I'm just imagining that, but Maya. Just Maya's face plastered. That's about as much effort as fucking... as Larry Butts would put into it. Oh, God. Alright. There's only one thing that remains a constant in this crazy world. The bitter darkness that lies at the bottom of this mug. So then you mean, forget it. What do you mean? During yesterday's trial, the accused refused to admit her role in the crime. But today, she has had a change of heart. Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple has a confession to make. Confession? The defendant? Iris, why didn't you discuss this with me first? Very well. This court will now hear the defendant's confession. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
My name is Iris. I am but a simple nun undergoing... I am but a simple nun undergoing training at the Hazakura Temple.
Witness, is there something that you want to confess to?
Yes. But first, I want to apologize to Mr. Wright. I can't continue lying to everyone anymore.
It's all right. What is it?
Mr. Wright, I have to admit that I did play a part in this terrible incident.
Are you actually confessing? Are you saying that you were the one who murdered Miss Elise Dunham?
No, I'm not, Your Honor. But I dealt with the cover-up after the murder took place. After her spirit left, I took the lifeless shell of Mystic Elise and carried it to the Hazakura Temple courtyard, where I desecrated it.
What? Order in the court! Order in the court! I'd fuck that one up. Doesn't matter, it sounds like something he would say. Witness, are you saying you were an accomplice to the murder?
Yes, that's correct.
What? What? 3 minutes in a court and I'm already covered in 3 minutes in court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Fuck me. 3 minutes in a court and I'm already covered in a cold sweat. Everyone on the planet is an accomplice to something. It just happens to be that in this case, it's to murder. Isn't that right, Mr. Trite? That Godot. So this is the confession they were... this is the confession they were conferring about. It pains me to say this, but it looks like Iris's testimony was all a lie. Iris's testimony crumpled up and shoved into a pocket. Now then, little lady, if you don't mind, I've got a question for you. Whose crime were you trying to cover up by your actions? Iris was covering for someone? Now I'm definitely in the creek without a paddle or a life jacket.
I've been at Hazakura Temple ever since I was a little girl. Hazakura Temple is run by one of the branch families of the Gurane tradition. One of our missions is to protect the main family.
I'm sorry, but main family?
Yes, and that's why I would dirty myself if need be to protect her. The daughter of the master of the crane channeling technique. Mystic Maya Fey. Huh.
Wake up and smell the coffee, trite.
She's naming...
Maya? Order in the court. So not only did you witness the murder, you know the name of the murderer.
I'm terribly sorry, but it's true. I saw her commit the crime with my very own eyes. And then I cleaned up the area to try to protect her.
That's ridiculous. Maya could never do something. The defense will refrain from commenting until the appropriate time. You was fucking joking. Yeah, look, why does this keep happening? Why does Maya keep getting fucking framed for shit? God damn it. Yeah, just I wasn't even surprised. I wasn't even fucking surprised. I was like, I could see this coming. I saw it coming when Maya's name was written on the fucking was written in the garden on the statue. Oh, they're gonna frame Maya again, aren't they? She's not even here, man. She's in the fucking temple. Or the training grounds, whatever. Now, witness, let's hear your testimony. What exactly happened on the night of the murder? Or the crime? Night of the crime.
Yes, Your Honor.
I thought I was prepared for the unexpected. I never imagined the case would wind up going in this direction. I'm trying to think of, like, what voice I'm gonna give, Apollo Justice. Because I can't just give him Phoenix's voice. I have to give him something else, you know? Maybe I can give him my Sonic voice. Yeah, my name's Apollo Justice. Something like that, you know? Right, the real murderer.
I went to the inner temple that night and saw it all happen in the garden. I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff. While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike. Mystic Maya tried desperately to defend herself and stole the weapon. It was only in self-defense. You can't blame her for it.
So it was in self-defense?
Yes. Mystic Elise was the one who attacked first. That's why I tried my best to protect Mystic Maya.
You moved the victim's body to the temple so that Maya wouldn't be suspected. Isn't that right? Not bad. You've got the instincts of a true criminal.
Hi Sean, hi chat, how are you all doing tonight? Peace you wave, 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 peace you wave,
peace you wave. Anyway, hello, Azzy. Something's not quite right. I'm sure it was established yesterday that Iris never went to the inner temple that night, and that the person who did go was that woman. Iris even admitted it. Now then, Mr. Wright, please proceed with your cross-examination. Sister Iris, your testimony has changed quite a bit since yesterday. You stated yesterday that on the night of the murder, you didn't go to the inner temple. 10 stream streak. Well, that's good. Glad you've been coming back to enjoy these scuff streams. I'd say they're scuff. Look, I don't even have like a proper presentation. I've just remained this way for years because it's just, I like the minimalist look. I mean, it used to just be me without the avatar, but I needed something to represent myself, but you know. Did she know? Too bad for you, what she said yesterday didn't mean much today. By the way, where were you when she claimed that she didn't go? It was in the inner temple's training hall. A private conversation between the two of you does not constitute testimony. That would be properly described as heresy. Nope. That would be properly described as hearsay. Fucking, why'd I go heresy? My fucking brain. That would be properly described as hearsay. What do you have to say, witness?
I just couldn't tell him the truth that time. Mystic Maya, she's your girlfriend, isn't she? I didn't want to be the one to break it to you that I saw her commit murder.
Yeah, there. We all understand how difficult it is for you. He didn't even say, she's not my girlfriend. He didn't even fucking deny it. Now then, let's continue with the testimony. Not your witness in the temple garden.
Oh, Your Honor? I saw Mystic Elise strike Mystic Maya with her staff.
You're saying that the victim attacked Maya? I mean, Miss Faye?
Yes, it was a truly frightening scene. Mystic Maya was struck hard in the head and looked like she was going to collapse.
What were you doing at the time? What were you doing at the time? Why didn't you stop them from fighting?
I'm terribly sorry, Mr. Wright. I was frightened. I couldn't move. I couldn't even speak. I was in such shock.
That's perfectly understandable, my dear. This doesn't sound right. I don't believe this testimony for a minute. What happened after that?
While Mystic Maya was still stumbling, Mystic Elise moved in to deliver a fatal strike.
She moved in to deliver a fatal strike?
Yes, I'm sure of it. She threw down her staff and reached into her robe for a weapon.
Wait a minute. What was this weapon?
It was some kind of dagger.
A dagger, huh? And Elise Dunham tried to stab her with this weapon? To kill Miss Faye?
Yes, exactly.
You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. A lot of people can't say that word. They go Worcestershire. It's Worcestershire. You know, I'd say that again. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Although, I guess it would be Worcestershire if an American said it, maybe. You look like I did after I mistakenly took a swig of Worcestershire sauce. Do you have a problem with the testimony we're hearing from your client, lawyer boy? Do I have a problem with Iris's testimony? Your Honor, I have a small problem with the witness's testimony. You do? But this witness is your own client. Yes, well, nevertheless. That's fine. Witness, let's add your last statement to the testimony.
Yes, sir.
Hey, just a moment. It's my job to say that. Listen, Gramps, I won't say it again. Final judgment will be rendered by me. Okay, now, let's continue. It's really hard to gauge Godot's motive here.
She threw her staff away and pulled a dagger from inside her robe.
Ah. Sister Iris, there's something strange about your version of events. Vengeance from Mia, though I doubt Mia would want her own sister framed and convicted. Yeah, I don't think that's what Mia would want either. So I'm just trying to... Yeah, it's honestly... Anyway. Huh? Miss Dunham throwing her staff away makes no sense at all to me.
But all you can do with a staff is hit someone.
Naturally, you wouldn't know this, Sister Iris, but the victim's staff had a special feature about it. As you can see, it's a sword. If Elise Dunham really had wanted to kill Maya Fey, she wouldn't have needed to use a separate dagger. Not when she already had a beautiful blade in her hands already. Well, Sister Iris, what do you have to say? That was an impressive bit of investigating, Wright. I never would have thought there was a sword hidden in that staff. But even so, how should I put this? A longsword is unwieldy, and thus quite ineffective in close quarters combat. Maybe that's why she chose a dagger over her blade.
Well...
Anyway, the type of weapon she chose to use isn't what's important. The important thing is that she tried to kill Maya Fey. As long as there's nothing strange about that, there's no problem with her testimony. But there is something strange about this whole testimony. Well, Mr. Wright, the prosecution has a point. Very well, Your Honor. The defense will now present evidence to back its argument.
Mr. Wright.
I have here another piece of evidence that shows that this testimony can't be trusted. Because Miss Elise Dunham would never attempt to take the life of Maya Fey. Do I just present? Elise Dunham would never have attacked Maya Fey.
How can you be so sure?
Because the victim's real name was not Elise Dunham. Her real name was Misty Fey.
Fey? No. Not Misty Fey. Not Misty Fey.
What the fuck? Why'd they name him Misty Fey? Mystic Misty Fey. Fucking hell, that's such a fucking... Who is this Misty Fey? Is she related to... Misty Fey is the master of the Korean channeling technique. She is also the mother of Maya Fey. Are you serious?
Is it really true, Mr. Wright? Was Elise Dunham actually the great Mystic Fey? Actually the great Mystic Misty?
There's no doubt about it.
It looks like Iris had no idea. I can hardly believe it.
The idea that she would try to kill her only daughter, one she hadn't seen in 17 years? Perhaps the prosecution can offer some explanation for why she would do such a thing. Oh, Order! Order in the court! Upon first hearing the witness testimony, it seemed natural enough. However, in light of some facts that have just been presented, one, that the victim supposedly threw away a sword during a fight, and two, that the two people battling to the death were mother and daughter. Despite the facts being believable when taken on their own, when taken together, the entire story seems difficult to believe. Listen, there's nothing in this world that is impossible. Except for one little thing. Yes? What is this one little impossible thing? You still don't get it. You still don't get it. You think maybe my beans are under roasted? But you have no idea, Gramps. Could you get to your point? I heard this witness's confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of coffee. Just as I had taken the first... Fuck me. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 8th cup of morning coffee. You're going to ruin your health, my friend. Anyway, after hearing this woman's confession, I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the crimes. I had a defective. Okay. I had a detective who loves to investigate sent to the scene of the crime. And he discovered this little beauty. Oh, God. Is that the dagger the witness testified to seeing? Obviously, Your Honor. But do you not notice something else? No, you mention it. If you look closely, there appears to be blood on it. Where did you find that? I didn't see that when I investigated the crime scene. Did you investigate the pine tree at the crime scene? Huh? The pine tree? This dagger was stuck in the back side of the pine tree. When the last blow was struck, ending the violent battle between the two women, this little baby was thrown in the direction of the back of the pine tree. Which means the blood on this dagger belongs to the victim, correct? Were you even listening, old man? I first heard this confession this morning. Just as I had taken the first sip of my 13th cup of morning coffee. Didn't you say it was your 8th just a few minutes ago? I didn't have enough time to get the blood analyzed on such short notice. In any case, the court will accept the dagger as evidence. Furthermore, I order that a blood test be performed on it immediately. This is my sweetheart. Make sure you treat her right. Bailiff, get this piece of evidence to the crime lab for testing immediately. It'd be interesting if it turns out to be Maya's blood. Now then, the testimony we've just heard had numerous unbelievable aspects to it. However, after having found the very dagger the witness spoke of, I believe we can consider her testimony to be credible. Cute girls never lie. Never. Please do not fuck the knife, kiddo. I had defective gumshoe investigate the crime scene. You mean detective? 8 cups currently half down my 9th. And you think I'm mixing up oh, wait. You mean detective gumshoe. 8 cups currently half down to my 9th. And you think I'm mixing up words, trite? So you're quick on the fucking, you're quick on, like, writing shit. Just little gags. I always come up with stupid shit. In any case, witness, if you could please testify again to this court.
About what, Your Honor?
About the incident you saw, the battle between the two women.
Yes, Your Honor. Mystic Maya stumbled briefly after being hit over the head with the staff. But then she dodged Mystic Elise's next attack and stole her weapon. Suddenly, Mystic Elise was the one on the defensive with her back to the stone lantern.
Probably had some influence on you since you first watched a playthrough and the anime.
That's when Mystic Maya stabbed Mystic Elise. Mystic Elise managed to fling the knife away, but then she collapsed. But then she collapsed.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you see the ellipsis when you read. Ellipsis is important. That was a very heartbreaking story.
I don't know if there were any bad feelings between them, but it had been 17 years since Misty's disappearance. Perhaps they simply didn't recognize each other anymore.
That seems reasonable. Now then, Mr. Wright, proceed with your cross-examination. I am going to go out on a limb here and say that Mystic Maya was not Mystic Maya. It was Dahlia Hawthorne. Dahlia Hawthorne instead went into Mystic Maya instead of Pearl Fay. That's just what I'm gonna. That's what I'm gonna guess. Are you absolutely certain that's what you saw?
Yes, I'm almost certain.
Almost.
The garden was dark. I couldn't really tell who was who.
What did she just say? So in other words, it could have been someone else entirely. Objection. We know that Maya Fey was at the Inner Temple that night, and that the woman that was killed was Elise Dunham. Isn't it fairly obvious who attacked who? Who attacked who?
I don't have anything to counter that yet.
Well then, witness, please continue with your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. The two of them faced each other for a moment, and then Mystic Maya rushed straight into Mystic Elise. Then Mystic Elise doubled over and fell to the ground.
So she was stabbed in the stomach, huh?
Yes.
Then she collapsed. But what about the fucking... How come no one's taking a photo of the, I don't know. I'm trying to see if there's something there. Where'd that dagger go?
I have no idea. It was dark and I couldn't see.
According to the detective who found the dagger, it was stuck into the pine tree in the garden. Most likely it was flung towards the tree after the struggle. That is the most likely explanation, yes. After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away? After being stabbed in the stomach, did the victim collapse right away?
Now that I think about it, she seemed to stare at Mystic Maya for a while. And Mystic Maya stood there, not moving an inch. It felt for a moment like time had just stopped. But then, suddenly, as if the spell had worn off, Mystic Elise fell over.
It seems like a reasonable story at first, but there's one thing that is completely impossible. The very idea of Maya stabbing someone. That alone is impossible, which means this faulty testimony must contain another contradiction in it somewhere. What happened to the victim's staff then?
I'm not sure. The area was very dark, so I really couldn't see. I think it got knocked away somewhere as the fight escalated.
That makes sense. That would explain the need for the dagger.
Mystic Elise raised the dagger to strike, but Mystic Maya dodged it at the last second. The dagger struck the lantern and fell to the ground. And then at some point, Mystic Maya picked it up.
Nothing sounds especially strange yet. What did the victim do when the weapon was stolen from her? You're saying that Maya Fey turned the tables on the victim?
Yes. But Mystic Maya wasn't herself at the time. After all, her life was in danger.
I still can't believe it. The idea of Maya cornering someone at knife point is just silly. As they say, a cornered fox is more dangerous than a jackal. I believe the correct description of a cornered fox is sacred and petrified. Your animal analogies have grown tiresome. You were the one who started it. Anyway, so after Maya Fey backed the victim into the stone lantern, what happened next? Let me get more. Iris, where were you standing when you witnessed all this?
What do you mean?
Well, if either of them had noticed you, they might not have continued their battle.
I wonder if that's true. The two of them, they were standing near the garden stone lantern. I was watching the whole thing from behind. It was dark where the two of them were, so I think that's why they didn't see me.
So it was dark in the garden when the murder took place. Tell me, what did Miss Maya Fey do after she was struck? Okay, fuck, I'm stumped again. Autopsy report. Yeah, figured that was... Yeah, fuck. That makes sense. Yeah. Loss of blood from stabbing back, body fell 10 feet after death. Yeah, what is this fell 10 feet after death?
Objection!
Something about you just isn't right today, Iris.
Huh?
Until now, I didn't think you were the type to make such a careless mistake. However, the testimony you just gave contains quite a few contradictions.
What do you mean? What's so wrong about my testimony?
According to you, Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern. Maya Fey stabbed the victim while she had her back to the stone lantern, correct?
Yes, that's right.
But in that case, the victim would have been stabbed in the stomach, right? Yes, I think so. But, according to the autopsy report, the cause of death was due to blood loss from a stab wound in her back. This proves that the victim was stabbed from behind, not from the front. Sister Iris, it appears another seed of doubt has sprouted from your testimony. Like, I don't like, I can't do that because it's just like, it's like I can't fucking, if I try to do it as a man, like, no, you know, like that sort of thing. Yeah, my voice range is obviously not for you know, for female voices. I can maybe do twinks and, you know, femboys maybe. Like, you know, very feminine sounding men. But, yeah. I can, yeah, that's about as feminine as my voice goes.
Oh no! Oh dear!
No, anyway. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Wright? It's simple. People are like books. We've all got a front and back. You get my drift? Is that all you have to say? I can also say that the darkness loves to play with the human mind. Would you please knock it off with the cheesy proverbs and illogical metaphors already? The point is, too much of this testimony just doesn't make sense. Throwing away a useful staff and the people fighting being mother and daughter? And now she falsely claims the victim was stabbed in the stomach? There certainly are some inconsistencies. Well, Iris, how about it?
Well, it's just...
If you ask me, you're just being too naive about the whole thing. What do you mean? There are 253 distinct types of bitterness in coffee. But to pick out each one requires total concentration and the use of all the senses. Were you really concentrating on what this witness actually said? Prosecutor Godot, explain yourself. The witness was quite unambiguous about her own ambiguities when she said that the garden was dark and she couldn't see clearly. A human needs one thing to see clearly, and that is light. By the way, did you know? Hazakura has a rule that on nights when an acolyte is at the inner temple training, the stone lantern in the garden must be kept lit. I did wonder what that stone lantern was there for. Well, if that's true, shouldn't the witness have been able to see the crime more clearly? Normally, yes, Your Honor. But according to the head nun, Sister Bikini, on the night of the crime, it was impossible to see light on the night of the crime, it was impossible to light that stone lantern. How the fuck do we have, like a double whammy of spam? At least Seribot caught it. Anyway. Impossible? It hadn't been used in a long time, and the wick was no good. In other words, it had to have been nearly pitch black in the garden that night. There could have been a faint light coming from the training hall, but that's all. Most enlightening. Yes, that illuminating fact has chased all the contradictions away. If the staff was dropped, it will be difficult to see. It also explains why they didn't recognize each other. We can't see the demons that lurk in the night. That's why humans are weak. Isn't that right, Trite? No! 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 Order! 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 Here, Your Honor. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Let me present the stone lantern into evidence. Oh, finally! He presents the stone lantern into evidence. He presents it into evidence and fucking... Dahlia Hawthorne definitely wrote Maya while she possessed Maya. Maybe you'll rekindle the flame of truth in your mind. Why is the judge just sitting there with that look in his face? What's wrong, Your Honor? Was that flame too hot? But this lantern, there's something written on it. Why, it's written in blood. Oh boy. So the judge didn't know about that yet. Written in blood? It says Maya upside down. What the?
Yes, that's right. After being cornered and stabbed by Mystic Maya, Mystic Elise didn't fall down right away. She must have been writing that on the stone lantern behind her, with the blood that was draining out of her body.
It certainly looks that way.
Objection!
Hang on just a minute. What are you all talking about? What do you mean, what are we all talking about? We're talking about the message written in blood. Nonsense. This lantern, it's as clean as a whistle. Could it be he can't see the bloody writing at all? He's saying he's seeing in red. He sees red. He can't see. He can't see the red writing. Fuck hell. Oh dear. Oh dear, he's colorblind, but like fucking completely colorblind. It's just red. Now that I think of it, he did say something to me yesterday. My eyesight is pretty messed up. Even with these huge goggles on my head, I still can't see everything. So that's what he meant by that. In any case, this is obviously an important clue. We now know that the crime scene was dark, and that the victim scrawled this message onto the stone lantern. Well, Miss Godot? Well, Mr. Godot, anything further? Explains why he stopped wearing that red suit. He couldn't see it. He can't find it. He thinks it's black. Mr. Godot? Okay then. Let's move on. Godot is literally shaking. Godot is literally shaking, and somehow, I don't think it's from caffeine overdose. I believe it has now been established that Miss Dunham was killed by Maya Fey. That's just wrong. Now it's time to turn our attention to you.
Yes, sir.
After the victim died, you did something, didn't you? Let's hear it. We're all ears.
After Mystic Elise died, I called out to Mystic Maya. I thought it was my duty to protect the future master of the Crane tradition, so I removed the body from the inner temple by myself. I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge. Then I used the snowmobile to carry it back to Hazakura Temple, and... I used the Shichishito to alter the way the wound looked.
So you moved the body?
Yes. Yes. I was raised at the Hazakura Temple. I owe a great deal of thanks to the Fake Land. But even so, I never imagined. Elise Dunham was actually Misty Faye. I've committed a terrible sin.
A terrible trick of fate. I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor.
I believe you're looking for a twist of fate, Your Honor. I intended to return to the inner temple after taking care of the body, but
you were spotted by the head nun, correct?
Yes, and that's why I couldn't go back.
Your story makes sense, I suppose. Mr. Wright, go ahead with your cross-examination.
Yes, Your Honor.
So you waited until everything was over before making a move?
No, it's not like that.
She saw someone murdered right in front of her eyes. It's not surprising that she was a little timid. Yes, I suppose that's true. Sometimes when I'm watching lawyers argue back and forth with each other, I feel so helpless that I just sit quietly and wait for them to reach a conclusion.
Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate? Isn't it your job as the judge to mediate the argument? It wasn't until Mystic Maya saw me that it finally dawned on her what she had done.
Why did you do that?
Because I didn't want Mystic Maya to be suspected in any way. I thought the best thing would be to remove the body from the crime scene.
You moved her body all by yourself?
Yes, I did. It wouldn't have been impossible if it wasn't for the snow.
The snow, huh?
I dragged it behind me all the way across Dusky Bridge.
It's pretty amazing you can make it all the way across. That's a rickety old bridge.
It looks worse than it is. It's surprisingly sturdy despite its age.
It's like they say, idiots are too stupid to catch even a simple cold. But there's one other thing that bothers me. Why not just throw the body into the Eagle River? It would have been much easier than dragging it all the way to Hazakura Temple.
I thought that it would still cast too much suspicion on Mystic Maya. That's why I tried to take the body as far away as possible.
Makes perfect sense to me. For the time being. Anyway, what did you do after you crossed the bridge? Yeah, this one I'm also... Larry's sketch, apparently. Okay, apparently we're using Larry's sketch Oh, God damn it. I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about. You're an idiot, right? Right. Oh, hang on, no, it's the wrong one. Okay, no, it's a different... Fuck, we're not even there yet. But apparently we do have to use... We have to use this fucking sketch for the next part of the testimony. The snowmobile? I knew that would show up sooner or later.
Yes, I had the key. I used the snowmobile to travel from Hazakura Temple to Dusky Bridge.
This is the part that was in question the other day. Should I ask for more details? Let me hear more about this snowmobile ride.
Well, it was very cold that night, so I rode it all the way to the foot of the bridge.
I'm sorry, witness, but now I've got a problem with your testimony.
Excuse me?
Gateau, what are you up to now? That night, after the head nun had left her remainder of training to you, she said she walked from the inner temple back to Hazakura Temple. Yes, I'm fairly certain that's what the record indicates. Let's recall her comments on the subject.
Maybe, but when I made it back to the Hazakura Temple, it was there by the main gate. The snowmobile, I mean.
The snowmobile was in the front of the main gate. This is one of those contradictions, wouldn't you say? Order, Mr. Godot. Mr. Godot, why are you pointing at contradictions in witness's testimony? Let's say I like things to be neat and tidy, okay?
Well, maybe Sister Bikini missed it. Yes, maybe she didn't see it.
You think she missed it? That doesn't sound right. Whatever. Even I don't think this is decisive enough to warrant any more time or effort. It's just, you better be careful in your testimony. That's all I wanted to say. A smart little cookie like you shouldn't have any trouble understanding that.
Yes, sir.
What was that all about? Why wouldn't Godot want to give me a hint? Very well then, let's continue with the testimony. So you transported the body by snowmobile all the way to Hazakura Temple courtyard.
Yes, I thought that way Mystic Maya would never be suspected.
Okay, so I chose the wrong one.
That's what I thought anyway, and then I...
If you really did move her body by snowmobile, then there should be tracks left in the snow, right? Well, yes, naturally you would expect tracks. This picture was presented at yesterday's trial. Are these the tracks from that ride?
Yes, I think they are.
But I can only see one set of tracks here. I forgot to do something. I forgot something. I forgot.
Ah. Right. I don't see what's so strange about that. The snow was still falling when I left Hazakura Temple.
I see. Snow was still falling, huh?
And then when the murder took place, it had already stopped. That's why there are such fresh-looking tracks.
How about it, Mr. Wright? What do you think about that? What do you think about this testimony?
When the murder took place, the snow had already stopped. That doesn't make sense if you stack it up against the other evidence.
Your Honor?
I'd like the statement Iris just made added to the testimony.
But does it have something to do with the case?
All we made clear if you allow her statement to be added to the record. This should be fun.
You. Let's get this snow business cleared up, shall we?
Yes, sir.
Am I going to be presenting weather data again? Yeah, I'm presenting weather data again.
Objection!
Fuck! Wrong one. What? Okay, apparently... right, alright. Let's see. I have to do it on this one.
Objection!
You claim that the snow had already stopped when the murder occurred? I'm sorry, Iris. That just isn't possible. What? This is the weather data from the night of the murder. According to this, the snow didn't stop until 10:50 p.m. 10:50 p.m. But you couldn't have crossed Dusky Bridge at that time. Why do you say that? Because 5 minutes before the snow stopped, Dusky Bridge was struck by Dusky Bridge was struck by lightning and caught on fire. What did you say? The bridge was on fire?
You don't mean to say you didn't know about it? It was because of that lightning strike that the bridge burned down.
What? But it can't be. It looks like you still haven't figured it out. No matter how hard you try to deceive or conceal the truth, you can't pull the wool over the eyes of a real defense attorney. No!
I'm gonna have some butterscotch popcorn. Ow. It's really good, by the way. What we need is butterscotch and cinnamon popcorn. Butts popcorn. Order! Order! Order!
The bridge was already on fire when the incident took place. That's right.
The inner temple was already totally cut off from the outside world. There's no way you could have crossed the bridge, body or no body. Witness, even my patience has its limits. Any further lying and I will find you in contempt of court. Do you have anything to say for yourself? The only person here that is truly contemptible is you. Old man. Me? How dare you? Whether this witness lied or not doesn't mean squat right now. Squat? The important thing is now the important thing now is to find out the truth. Isn't that right? Yes, of course, but whether it was snowing or not snowing, or whether the bridge was burning or not, there are two facts that can't be disputed. First, the body of Elise Dunham was discovered in the Hazakura Temple courtyard. And second, the head nun, Sister Bikini. Witness Iris desecrating Elise Dunham's body. He makes a good point. He makes a good point. On both accounts.
That's right. I'm not lying.
What are you claiming this time?
I wasn't myself at all that night. So my memory is still somewhat hazy.
You've stood at that witness stand and testified this entire time. Are you telling us now that your memory of that night is hazy? It's only human to err. If you're so perfect, Wright, maybe you can explain for the court. What is it? When the murder happened, the bridge had already burnt down. But somehow the body traveled across the bridge and was found in the temple courtyard. Perhaps you have some kind of perfect explanation for this little magic trick.
Well, not exactly, no. I know there must be some other way she got across that burnt-out bridge. Unless I can somehow demonstrate it, we'll never know the truth.
It looks like the defense is not prepared to offer a suitable explanation. You see what I mean? In other words, you're in no position to suggest this lady's testimony isn't the truth. All right then, witness. Witness, let's hear your testimony once more.
About what, Your Honor?
You've admitted that you moved the victim's body. Nevertheless, your prior testimony contained a rather large inconsistency. Please add an explanation for that to your testimony.
Yes, Your Honor. Will this be her final testimony? Other than walking over the bridge, there's no way to move the body. So I must have just gotten confused, I guess. Was the snow still falling or had it stopped? Does it really matter that much? Or are you saying that there is a way to cross a burning bridge?
Apparently you can fly across. So it was just a misunderstanding, I see. This is a photo of Dusky Bridge after it burned down from the lightning blast. It was taken on the morning after the incident. It certainly was burned to a crisp, and one of the suspension wires even snapped. It's amazing the whole bridge didn't fall. How the fuck did Gumshoe, like, repair that bridge? Tell you it would be impossible to carry a corpse across a bridge in this condition.
Unless I do something to discredit this testimony, it's going to be deemed as the truth. And Maya will be accused of murder.
Trite, I'm only going to say it one more time. It's only human to err. And only humans can spot the errors of our ways.
The more sense he makes, the less sense he makes.
All right, Mr. Wright, please begin your final cross-examination. Oh, I'm saying... I hate that I have to use this, but...
Objection!
A dead body flying over a burning bridge. I wouldn't exactly rule out the possibility. What? You're saying it's possible. Don't make me laugh. The only thing that's possible about your claim is that it's been pulled out of thin air. Or out of your ass. He said it into the cup. Or out of your ass. So no one heard him. What was that, Mr. Giddo? It's really, really good grass. Coffee. I put grass in my coffee. That's weird. It gives it an earthy taste. Don't judge me. It's good. Oh, good. Okay. I don't know about that. In any case, we have a witness who did see it happen. Preposterous! Who is it? Who is this witness? I can't chicken out here. I can't chicken out here. I've got to keep on the attack and go, go, go. Miss Elise Dunham's brilliant and highly gifted apprentice. Laurice Dunham. Brilliant. Highly gifted. Apprentice? Remember what he said in his testimony? That night he was at the Mountain Shack, Heavenly Hall. And that's when he witnessed the event. I think you've all seen this sketch before. It's an exact drawing of what he witnessed that night. Are you serious? Today's not April Fool's Day, is it? Mr. Wright, are you seriously claiming that the victim flew through the air? And you're using this pathetic scribble to support your argument? Uh-oh. The judge looks like he's about to blow a gasket. Well, Wright, there's nowhere for you to hide now. Other than looking like it was drawn by a 6-year-old, does this sketch prove anything? Yes. I'm pretty sure it does, and I'm going to prove it. Listen, I know your tricks. You're trying to turn this whole thing upside down. If you're so eager to turn this case upside down, why not start with this sketch? Upside down? Why did Godot say that? Haha, upside down, hey? Haha. Yeah. I just realized it would be upside down. Wait, because he saw it upside down too. Because from, like, his position, he was looking at it upside down. Larry, he was looking at he wasn't looking at the bridge. The body wasn't flying, it was hanging from the bridge. Right? I don't know. Is that what he's getting at? Alright then, let's hear the defense's theory. What exactly is this sketch trying to show? I don't think old Whiskerface is going to forgive any more mistakes. Yeah, so I'm gonna... Alright, Phoenix. Look carefully and think it over. The sketch drawn by Laurice Dunham is... exactly what happened. Of course, the victim was flying through the air. can see it right there in the sketch. Whoosh. You know, you're starting to remind me of yesterday's witness. What? That was the last thing I wanted to hear. Do you have any evidence that the victim flew through the air? Just so you know, we haven't discovered a giant human catapult at the inner temple yet. I wish they had. Even if you're a lousy lawyer, at least you're one cup's worth of entertainment. You're 1 cup's worth of entertainment. I think we should skip the penalty this time. There must be some way. I just know it. There must be some way to use Larry's sketch to show the truth of what happened. Alright then, the witness would now turn to her testimony. Okay, hang on. Okay, a complete contradiction. That's what I was supposed to do. I chose the wrong option.
Objection!
Something is obviously funny about this sketch. I'm no art critic, but even I can see that. No, that's not what I mean, Your Honor. Of course, he had to say whoosh. Really sells the evidence. Look, he's trying to be a salesman. Laurice Dunham stated it over and over that the sketch was exactly as he saw it. However, if we're to believe his testimony, then the sketch contradicts reality as we know it. It contradicts reality? This is getting interesting. This is getting interesting. Looks like you're back to the finger pointing and looks like you're back to the finger pointing thing again. Okay, Wright, so what exactly contradicts reality as we know it? Well, yeah. This is the wire connected to the bridge. Yeah, this is exactly what I was getting at. I'm like, wait, upside down. And then I thought, because, you know, I don't know why I didn't think that was upside down, because it's the fucking, yeah, it's the suspension wires. It's this wire connected to the bridge. The wire? Is that the thing that contradicts reality? It is indeed. It is indeed. Then show us the reality it supposedly conflicts with. Yeah. That's a photo of Dusky Bridge, correct? Yes. Now compare the sketch and the photo for a minute. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the. In the sketch, the wires appear to. Let me have a sip. In the sketch, the wires appear to be above the guard wires. But on the actual Dusky Bridge, jumping Jehoshaphat, the wires are below. The wires are below the guard wires. What? Order, order, order! This sketch is somewhat different than what's depicted in the photo. However, isn't it likely that the artist just saw it wrong? Or perhaps he just drew it wrong? Either way, it sounds like you're just wrong. With someone like Laurice, I admit a mistake is a definite possibility. But then, that begs the question. Why did he make a mistake? What was the reason? Are you saying you know the answer to that? Listen, think back, alright? Remember what Laurice was doing when he witnessed this event. He was at Heavenly Hall waiting for a lover that was never going to come. He waited and waited, and finally he laid down. But then, lightning shoots from the sky and sets the bridge aflame. I ponder what sort of position Larice might have been in at that time. He was lying on his back, which is why he remembered the scene the way he did. He was laying on his back? I can't see how it relates, but it does, Your Honor. That's the reason why the wires in the sketch go up instead of down. Ah! No way. Larice Dunham witnessed the event while he was lying on his back, face up. In other words, the scene he saw was actually upside down. So then, the sketch should actually... I think you finally get it, Your Honor. The correct way to view Larice Dunham's sketch is like this. This is how it should actually look. The victim's body wasn't flying above the bridge. It was actually swinging below. That's right. Just like a pendulum. Ridiculous. What the fuck? Order, order, order! Of all the things to say, a pendulum? The bridge was burning to a crisp. There was no way to get across it. If the body had been found at the inner temple, it would have caused problems. This is where the criminal decided to take a gamble. They used the burning bridge to get the body across to the other side. And a pendulum was the only way to get it done. Objection. Let's think about this for a minute, shall we? Dusky Bridge is about 20 yards long, which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the fucking hell. Which means it's about that far from the inner temple to the opposite cliff. Why do I have a fucking speech impediment? I got a fucking speech impediment or something. Yes, yes, that sounds right. In order to cover that distance with a pendulum, you need a rope at least 10 yards long. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead. To get a rope that long, you have to plan ahead. The lightning strike that night can only have been an accident. So it doesn't make sense that the culprit would have prepared that rope beforehand. So then, they didn't have to get the rope ready. The rope was already right in front of them. What? I'm saying that it was just a matter of using what was already there. In that case, Mr. Wright, please give us an explanation to support your theory. What makes you think the criminal had the rope on hand to create the pendulum? Ah, yes, the map. What do you think, Mr. Godot? I think that Mr. Tried is lucky there's no rope around here. Huh? Even if I had just a sliver of rope, I'd be wrapping it nice and tight around his neck. I should have figured I'm not going to win this one with a lucky guess. I literally thought it was that, though. Well, fuck. I'm gonna fucking lose this one if I don't. Are you kidding me? I have to present the Dusky Bridge photo again? And the meaning of this is, if you want to know where the rope came from, it's hanging right there in front of your glorious beard. This is one of the wires from the bridge. When the lightning struck the bridge and set it on fire, one of the suspension wires came loose from its anchor. The criminal didn't have any time to waste, so they tied the wire around Larice Dunham's body. What the fuck? Are you kidding me? How? This all happened in the span of how long? Because there was simply no other way to move the body. Mr. Godot. It seems that Mr. Godot is more focused on his coffee than answering my question. It seems that the odds of a rope being readily available were very high. So I suppose that it's not an impossibility after all. Possible or impossible? That's not the question we need to ask. There's only one question. Did that really happen? Trite. I wonder if you can prove what happened to us. Do you have any actual evidence that the body was swung over like a pendulum? Apparently it's a dusky bridge photo again. Wait, no, because I presented already. No, apparently I can use the autopsy report. Before I present my evidence, let me review what we know so far. According to this photo, one of the wires snapped. Looking at the map, we can see it's the one that was in front of the inner temple. So then, that was the spot where the criminal... Yes, precisely. Now let us consider the body's movement by looking at the overhead map again. If the body was pushed from this point here, it would drop on the opposite bank at approximately this point. Did you say drop? Well, they must have failed to catch the body on the other bank. What makes you think something like that happened? Because I have evidence that suggests her body dropped some distance. What kind of evidence? Take a look at this autopsy report. It says here that her body fell about 10 feet after her death. 10 feet, huh? That's most likely the height difference between the two sides. The body overswung due to forward momentum, but then came loose and fell about 10 feet. And then as a result, the landing impact, this crystal sphere was knocked loose. That's... Yes, this blood-stained amethyst crystal is the one that came off Miss Lee's Dunham's staff. I still think it's probably Donham, Miss Lee's Donham. Miss Lee's Donham's staff. And even more important is the place where this crystal sphere was found. Indeed, I believe it's already marked on this overhead map. The crystal was found... Precisely, Your Honor. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive, if given the right amount... Fuck. I'm off today. In the very spot where the pendulum would arrive, if given the right amount of speed. The way I fucking read that is horrible. That's... God. Anyway. This explains your theory quite well, Mr. Wright. You have provided us with a way the body could have been moved that night. An impressive deduction, Mr. Wright. Most impressive. Mr. Wright? I thought this cold coffee might help you cool down. What is the meaning of this, Mr. Godot? That was a dark and bitter guess that you made, Tried. But you forgot about one thing. Oh, and what would that be? The aroma. Huh? A coffee's most reliable accomplice is its deep and profound aroma. The rest of the court doesn't speak Coffeenese. Can you elaborate a bit more? If the criminal had sent the body to the other side, like you say, then naturally there must have been an accomplice lying in wait to catch it. An accomplice? The criminal wasn't able to cross Dusky Bridge. So who collected the body? What do you have to say to that? What do you have to say about that, Trite? Mr. Godot is correct. This can't be the work of a single person. Well, Mr. Wright, you know what you must do. Yes, Your Honor. The body couldn't have made it to Hazakura Temple without an accomplice. Very well then, if you please, Mr. Wright. Who was the person that received the body in the Hazakura Temple side? It has to be Iris. Yeah, it's Iris. Because I don't want to fucking... I didn't save. It can only be you, Sister Iris. Huh? But I don't see why you're not so I don't see why you're so surprised. The only way to transport the body from Dusky Bridge is by snowmobile. But with her bad back, Sister Bikini could never pick up a body like that. You're the only one that could have managed it.
Objection.
Trite. Were you even listening to the witness's testimony? On the night of the crime, this little cutie pie was on cleanup duty in the Inner Temple Garden after the mother-daughter bloodbath.
Objection.
I haven't forgotten, but have you, Mr. Godot? This witness was also seen at Hazakura Temple, desecrating the corpse of the victim. Strange indeed. It's almost as if, on that night, the defendant was in two different places at the same time. Sister Iris, let me ask you something. Why didn't you mention it? Why didn't you mention it when you first gave your testimony? Mention what? The pendulum, of course. Using this sketch drawn by an eyewitness, I have established how the body was moved using the burnt-out bridge. Which means it's now a fact that this occurred. Something you should have already known. No, I had no idea. I didn't know anything about a pendulum. But the body couldn't have been passed along to the other side without your help. So you should have known about it. In fact, it'd be impossible for you to be clueless about this whole thing. Unless you're not really Iris to begin with. What? How can you say that, Mr. Wright? What? What kind of nonsense is this? You're saying that this witness isn't Iris of Hazakura Temple?
Objection.
Are you serious, Trite? You mean that this woman is... There's no one besides Iris that could have received the corpse that night. Now I get it. Now I know why I've been so sick to my stomach this whole trial. Why her whole demeanor changed so suddenly from yesterday. And why she's trying to pin this murder on Maya. The woman that's standing there at the witness stand. Her real name is... So... Hang on. So, wait a second. It's possible that she does have spiritual power, and that right now, her sister is channeling through her. I think that's what's happening. I think that's what's happening. I never thought I'd have to utter your name again, let alone see you. It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne. Hawthorne? Sister Iris had a twin sister. And you're looking at her, Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. That name rings some bells. Distant bells, but bells nonetheless. It's That's just your imagination, Gramps. This file contains all the relevant data about Dahlia Hawthorne. Oh yes, I remember now. That case, 5 years ago.
My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I just want to say it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence.
The honor is all mine.
No, the honor is all mine. Wait, hang on. What voice did I have? What voice did I have? Wait, what voice? I can't remember. No, the honor is all mine. Wait, what voice did I have? I don't remember. But according to this, Dahlia Hawthorne is already dead. It says her execution was carried out last month. So what? Death has no meaning in this courtroom. What? Order, order, order.
Wait a moment. How can you... My sister, she's already dead. What kind of...
You of all people should already understand, after all, the blood of the master of the Karain channeling technique flows within that body. The Karain channeling technique? Now where have I heard that? That's right. You're not Dahlia Hawthorne herself. You're the spirit of Dahlia currently inhabiting the body of a spirit medium. What an exciting story. Exciting, but quite impossible. You're asking us to buy that Dahlia Hawthorne just happened to be channeled by someone on the very night of the murder to a temple where her twin sister Iris was? Well, if you're going to put things that way, then yes.
Objection.
We're supposed to believe a coincidence like that just happened?
Objection.
Naturally, it was no coincidence. The whole thing was part of a plan from the very beginning. It's all written right here in these instructions.
What's that?
These instructions were written by your mother, Morgan Fay. And part of the plan called for Dahlia Hawthorne to be channeled. That night, there were 2 irises at Kazakura Temple. Two of them. Even the time the channeling was planned out. As soon as you hear the lights out bell, in other words, 10 p.m. However, Iris was seen before dinner time. That means that the Iris that was at dinner was the real Iris. And the Iris who gave me this hood in the main hall was also the real Iris. Meaning that the Iris Sister Bikini saw at the inner temple was someone else dressed as her, namely one Dahlia Hawthorne.
Objection.
Do you even know what you're saying, Trite? This whole channeling the spirit of Dahlia Hawthorne business. Yes, it's true you found plans that talk about it. However, there's one thing that's perfectly clear. The witness currently standing in the witness stand is the real Iris. What? Calm down and remember what you know about the night of the crime. After meeting Sister Bikini, the Dahlia Hawthorne that had been channeled would have been stranded at the inner temple due to the lightning strike. Yeah, it was Maya. It was Maya. She was being possessed by Dahlia Hawthorne. It was later that the body was moved by pendulum. That's right. Naturally, that would mean that the Iris that received the body was the real Iris. Are you with me so far? Yes. After being notified of what happened, the police came to Hazakura Temple's main hall. There they found Iris in her room and arrested her. And ever since, she's been under police supervision at the detention center.
Yes, I suppose. I can't deny any of that. Yeah, thank goodness. It looks like he's finally convinced. But something still seems off. Way off. I'm still not convinced that the iris here is the same one from the other night.
I suppose you're about to say something really ridiculous. Like the real Iris and the spirit of Dahlia somehow switched places.
Switched places?
Oh, hang on a second. Hang on a second. Dahlia is locked in the temple. And this entire time... Sorry, not Dahlia. Iris is locked in the temple. And this Iris is actually Maya. I'm gonna go out on a limb that this is like a really long ass spirit channeling. It's possible that also Iris got murdered. Murdered by her own sister. I mean, she did it to her stepsister. It's very possible. I don't know. Let's see what happens. To be perfectly honest, there are still quite a few things I don't understand, but I do know unless we confirm the witness's identity, we can't continue with this trial.
Iris doesn't have the spiritual power needed to channel Dahlia, which means they must have switched places somewhere.
Well, Mr. Wright, since the time she was arrested at a Hazakura temple, have there been any changes for Iris to switch places with Dahlia Hawthorne?
Your Honor, I think there might have been one chance.
Oh, explain yourself.
Yesterday, for a few minutes, Iris's whereabouts were unknown.
Unknown? What do you mean?
What I mean is, there was a span of time in which Iris was able to move about freely, unsupervised.
Well, who was it? Who would give a murder suspect time to move about freely like that?
I'm sorry, I know you didn't mean to. It wasn't your fault.
Yeah, I mean, it was... His eyes for a second there. This is Mr. Edgeworth, isn't it?
Your Honor, there was a fairly large earthquake yesterday, was there not?
An earthquake?
Earthquake! Earthquake!
What the fuck?
Earthquake! Oh my goodness, the inner temple. This kind of tremor might...
How could I have? She fled. She escaped.
We went to the inner temple right away. And it's true. Iris was already there. However, they had already switched places by that point in time. When I arrived at the training hall, I was met by none other than Dahlia Hawthorne.
That's quite enough already, Mr. Wright. Now see here, no judge in his right mind would consider the idea of spirit channeling and...
Be quiet. It's been a long time, Mr. Judge.
That voice. Guess I'll have to ask again. Upon meeting a beautiful lady, always ask for her name and profession. That's one of my rules.
Yeah, see, Iris is not powerful enough. Iris isn't powerful enough to channel anything. So it makes sense that this is actually Maya. Dahlia Hawthorne. And my current profession? Permanently retired.
So you're not going to bother hiding your identity anymore, huh?
Why should I? After all, I'm dead. There's really nothing you can do to punish me. What is going on here? Dahlia Hawthorne. I never thought we'd meet again. And I never thought we'd meet like this. But this time, I'll end it. For her, and for myself. To be continued, and we are definitely continuing. Because I may as well just play this out until the end, you know? Now then, let's continue where we left off, shall we? Well, witness? Yes. How can I help you, Mr. Judge? Well, it seems that if we're to learn the truth, we'll need to hear your testimony. I have no problem with that. But when you've seen what I have, sometimes the truth is better left unknown. In any case, let's hear your testimony. Tell us about the plan that was carried out that night. The whole plan began with my death. The whole plan began with my death. A stupid plan hatched by Morgan Fay to install her own daughter as the next master. But for it to work, Maya Fay would first have to die. The idea was for me to kill Maya, and have the blame pinned on Iris.
Thank goodness Dahlia's in there, and we're out here, and the Maya's in there. But where's Iris?
Oh, thank goodness Dahlia's in there, and we're out here, and Maya's in there, but where's Iris? And I just remembered, we're out here. Thank goodness we're in there. Okay. The plan went wrong, but it seemed to have succeeded anyway. So that means you really are... Wait a minute. Did you just say the plan was to kill Maya Fay? Yes, you have a problem with that. Don't give us that nonsense. There's no way that... Watch yourself, trite. You've got a problem, solve it during cross-examination. That's one of my rules. Mr. Godot is correct. And by the way, that's one of my rules as well. To kill Maya? Could it be true? But I have evidence to suggest that the plan was to... You would try to blame Maya. Slightly realized Iris is missing. Yeah. The acting skills that Buzzy has. It's amazing, you know? You were executed last month, correct? Yes, I was hanged. It wasn't exactly pleasant. Hanged. Jesus. So so California has brought back hanging, which, by the way, that's execution in Japan. They do have executions and by hanging. So yeah, they still have hangings. We still had hangings in Australia until like the 1980s, I think. It was in Queensland. Like that was the last state to have capital punishment. Anyway, how'd you manage to discuss the plan? When did you talk with Morgan Fay? Last year. She was transferred to the same detention center as me. Since I was on death row, and she was my mother. It was actually pretty easy to meet with her.
I see. So that's when you discussed the plan.
Are you crazy? At first, that woman was planning to kill me as well, even though I'm her own daughter. All to make Pearl Fay the master of Karain. She's a cold, twisted woman. She thought she could finally regain her lost honor. The honor she lost when her younger sister Misty took her place as the master. Ever since that day, she's been working on this plan.
A plan, huh? I don't even know if California has the fucking death penalty. I know Texas does. Texas has a death penalty. And a few other states do. I can't remember which ones exactly, but I know there are some states that don't do it.
You're talking about Pearl Fay, is that correct? Yes, though at first she had high hopes for the two of us.
You're in a twin sister, Iris?
That's correct. Fortunately, neither of us had much spiritual power. That's why we were abandoned by her, along with our father.
Abandoned? Because I'm gonna have some nerds. I feel like some nerds. They gently hanged her. Which is even worse. Was when she was like struggling in agony for like it might have actually, like, you know, she might have been struggling for hours. Wow, California is so bad at executions. They think gently trying to kill people is the way to do it, but it just makes them suffer in the end. Holy fuck. It is a liberal nightmare. We gotta nuke California. That is the only solution to prevent any of this from happening. We gotta nuke California right the fuck now. Call the president up. He needs to push the button to nuke California off the fucking map. There will just be 49 states. We can deal with it. Oh god. Abandoned. The police, after watching her suffocate for an hour. You sure we can't just hang her normally? No, we're not animals. No, we're not animals. I don't know why that was like in a slightly, in a slight, you know, that kind of voice. Why is my brain blanking on the name? Either way, Emperor's New Groove. Anyway, no, he's got a point. Anyway, the only person I ever really cared about in my life was myself. My sister was a nuisance, so I convinced my father to leave her at an old temple. You mean Iris?
Yes, my father remarried a woman who also had a daughter. The less children you have, the more money there is to go around, right? And on top of that, my father had absolutely no interest in children in general.
She's got fucked up by both her parents. Iris is the only one that turned out like, kind and normal, but even then she got manipulated. She got manipulated by her sister. How horrible. Kronk. Why did I... What? Fucking Kronk. My god. Why was I going to... I was going through so many names. I was like... It's none of the names that I'm thinking of. Kronk did not appear. I swear to god, my brain, like the way it works, it just doesn't store information properly. It's Borkin. My brain is Borkin. It's like me getting Undyne and Alphys. Those two names, for some reason I got those two names mixed up at one point. Because my brain just decided, oh yeah, Undyne is now Alphys, Alphys is now Undyne. Suck shit. Deal with it. Oh god. Anyway. The really horrible one was that woman, that bitter, vengeful woman. It was her stubbornness that gave birth to that child, Pearl Fay. She was born with an abundance of spiritual power. Unfortunately for her, Morgan Fay heaped all of her broken hopes and dreams onto that poor child's back. All because of her pathetic dreams of having her bloodline become the main family. You know, it's understandable how Dahlia turned out the way she did. Some underswap shit. Maya would have to die? But why? For her bloodline to succeed as the main family, thus making Pearl the new master. The remaining descendants of the current master had to be taken care of. But Pearls would never agree to a plan like that. She adores Maya. How sad. You still don't get it, do you? What Pearl wanted had nothing to do with it. Morgan didn't care one bit about Pearl. The only thing she cared about was the position of the master. That's all. That's ridiculous. She was willing to sacrifice anything and anyone to achieve her goal. The life of her daughter, and naturally the life of Maya Fey as well. How could anyone do that? Killing your sister seems like something she picked up from her mother. Well, we still don't know her sister's dead. Her sister could still be alive. But it's possible she also killed Iris. Like, Iris is currently, you know... is currently in the inner temple. So yeah, it's possible that she also killed Iris. We don't know yet. That information is yet to be revealed. If it's going to be revealed at all. The idea was for me to kill Maya and then have the blame pinned on Iris. No, this is the dead. Wait, oh, sorry, yeah. Sorry, no, my brain derped. Yeah, no, I know what you meant. The stepsister. Yeah, killing her stepsister. I mean, her mother didn't really kill anyone, but her mother was a vindictive bitch, basically. Vindictive, scheming, evil bitch. You were going to kill Maya? Pearl didn't need to know anything about it. All she had to do was follow the instructions in the letter and channel me. Then I would have simply used her body and finished the job. In any case, I'm already dead, and there's nothing any of you can do to me. So the plan was to... So the plan was to blame your crime... So the plan was to blame the crime on your younger twin. on Sister Iris of Hazakura Temple. I almost did my fucking Edgeworth voice on him.
She and I look absolutely identical. No one can tell us apart. If someone were to witness me killing Maya, naturally they would think it was Iris that had done it.
And the witness in this case was the head nun, Sister Bikini.
I never would have guessed she was going to return to the Hazakura. I never would have guessed she was going to return to Hazakura Temple that night. But she wound up seeing Iris's crime anyway.
But why did you want to pin the murder on Iris in the first place? She's your twin sister, isn't she?
Twin sister? Don't make me laugh. She's nothing but a backstabber. I couldn't care less about her.
Backstabber?
You just don't understand. You never will. Anyway. The plan went wrong, but it seems to have succeeded anyway.
You think the plan was a success?
You heard me, just as that woman had hoped. Maya Fey is dead. Now the title of Master will pass on to Pearl Fey.
Objection!
That's absurd. Maya is just... She's just trapped inside the sacred cavern. He still doesn't get it. No, it's... I've worked it out. She's trapped inside... Dahlia has taken over her body. I'm telling you that's what's happening.
Really? You're as foolishly optimistic as ever, aren't you? My darling Feeny. Do you want to know the truth? Ever since we met, I've despised you. Your sniveling naivete and your pathetic faith in other people.
I just want to know one thing. What do you personally think of Morgan Fay's plan?
I told you already, didn't I? It was a stupid plan. It had no point, no value, other than fulfilling her own greedy desires. Yes, it was certainly nothing to be proud of.
If that's how you feel, why'd you help her carry it out? Why would you do it? Why would you kill Maya?
You may not understand it, being the kind and gentle soul that you are. You may not be able to appreciate why someone like me would help a woman like that.
So then tell me, why?
Isn't it obvious? I'm not like that woman. The only act of my own... I only act in my own self-interest. The reason I helped her was for myself. For my own personal satisfaction.
What did you say? So this woman, Dahlia Hawthorne, she had her own reason for wanting Maya dead? Obviously, it's because you were helping Morgan Fay.
Helping? Don't make me laugh. From the day I was born to the day I died, I never helped anyone. I lived for myself, and in the end, I died for myself. I thought that was obvious.
So she wasn't actually cooperating with Morgan. She was just using Morgan and her plan so she could accomplish her own goal.
All I wanted to do is kill Maya Fey. That was the only way I could think to get revenge.
Revenge? It looks like I have no choice but to present that piece of evidence. I can't believe it. She meant to kill Maya? I've got to keep a cool head. I need to get more information out of her. Hang on. So, basically... Okay. Yeah, think it could be that. No, it's okay.
Objection!
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that she wanted to get revenge for putting her in jail, because Mia Fey did put her in jail. Could it be that your actual goal had nothing to do with Maya Fey herself?
As I said, none of you have the power to punish me anymore. Because I'm already dead. Well, I had the same problem, you see. You can't punish the dead, and you can't take revenge against them either.
You wanted to take revenge on someone?
I was sentenced to die because of that woman. Mia Fey. I somehow knew this was it. I wanted to send her a message. It was at her hands that I suffered my first humiliation. I wanted her to feel the same pain she made me feel. Sadly, when I realized revenge was impossible, I gave up.
And the reason it was impossible? Was it perhaps because Mia Fey had already died?
Yes, and I realized there's only one way to take revenge against the dead.
And how do you do that?
Even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever. I wanted to take away the person that Mia Fey loved most. I wanted to kill her with my very own hands. That would be the one and only way I could take my revenge against Mia Fey. That was the reason I helped out with that woman's plans.
Just for that? For that you would kill Maya? Your goal was no different than that of Morgan Fey. As they say, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. What a cruel plan. Cruel, cold, and heartless.
Don't waste your time preaching to the dead. I've already told you there's not a thing you can do to me. That night, at about 9:30 p.m., I materialized into this world. I quickly pinned my hair up and put on a demon warding hood. Then I picked up the staff that was by my side and left Hazakura Temple.
So, it was at least Dunham who channeled her after all.
That ridiculous head nun noticed. That ridiculous head nun never noticed a thing. She left Maya Fey at the inner temple and wobbled back, clutching her poor old back.
What did you do? What did you do then?
That kid was easier to handle than I had hoped. I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and...
So then you're saying you stabbed Maya?
It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that.
What does that mean? No clear memory.
I don't know. I think I was stabbed.
You were stabbed?
At the last minute, Maya Fey must have stabbed me. I'm sure of it.
It's not like her at all. Maya wouldn't stab a French fry with a plastic fork.
Anyway, I suddenly lost consciousness. Before I did, I scrawled her name on the lantern. Just as I was passing out, I wrote Maya behind my back. I had hoped it would cast suspicion on her.
I can't believe she was thinking of that until the bitter end.
That's where my memory temporarily stops.
It stops?
I don't have any memory of actually killing Maya Fey with my own two hands. My very last memory was Maya's terror-filled eyes. When I woke up after that, I was in the sacred cavern surrounded by darkness.
You were in the secret cavern?
The entrance was sealed with one of those trick locks. Somehow I had been trapped in there.
But how'd you wind up in there?
I'd like to know that myself. Anyway, I was worried. I didn't know whether or not Maya Fey was dead. And I swore I wouldn't return to the underworld until they knew I had killed her myself.
For a ghost, you're one tough cookie.
I wanted to get out of there and make sure she was dead. But I couldn't do it. I couldn't get out.
The trick lock stopped you, huh?
I didn't know how to remove it.
So then you're saying you were actually confined against your will inside that sacred cavern?
Yes. I wanted to get rid of that annoying lock as soon as possible. But it wasn't easy. I kept getting interrupted while I was working on it.
Interrupted?
It was early in the morning, but someone came into the training hall.
What? Who? Could it have been Maya?
I thought the same thing, but I couldn't see.
Why not?
If someone had spotted me, I would have lost my chance to take revenge. So I made sure to hide myself well at the back of the sacred cavern.
That morning, only 2 people could have gone into the training hall. Maya and Pearls. Pearls went there to recover the hanging scroll and gravy.
Still, I finally managed to remove the lock. But I was too late.
What do you mean by that?
The flies had already started to gather. The bridge had been fixed, and the police had started their investigation.
Fuck. The bridge had been fixed and the police had started their investigation, correct?
Naturally, I couldn't go out. So instead, I returned to the cabin and put the lock back on myself. I realized I wouldn't get a chance to see Maya's corpse as I had hoped. But just then, Lady Luck showed up.
Lady Luck?
After that big earthquake, she showed up all by herself.
The real Iris?
She said she'd come to make sure the sacred cavern was all right. Was all right. Stupid girl. I came out from the sacred cavern and got a feel for the situation. And I locked her away in my place. I'd finally learned exactly what had happened. It was then that I learned that the plan had actually succeeded.
What do you mean your plan had succeeded?
I had misunderstood one thing, you see. That night, the one that had summoned me, I had assumed that it was Pearl Fey.
Well, of course you would have assumed that. It was written in the instructions.
But I was wrong. The person that had actually called my spirit back was Misty Fey, the picture book author.
What?
Well, that's really the only possibility, isn't it? After I lost consciousness in the garden, it was her body that was left lying there. Maya Fey. I wasn't able to kill her with my own hands after all. But even so, I made her commit the most vile sin a human can commit.
And that is...
Matricide. The sin of killing her own mother.
No way! Order in the court. What is the meaning of this? Why do I have no snoozes? What the fuck is going on with this, like, ad break shit? Like, I've not used... Like, what is going on with the snoozes, honestly? I need to check this for a second. Hang on, this is bothering me to no fucking end. Monetization. Ads. I think I'm just gonna... Hang on, let's see. See, I can do like less ads, shorter ads more often. It's a half-minute ad break every 10 minutes, or you know, the 3-minute ad break every 60 minutes. It's the net ad revenue share that's like the big thing. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There's no other way to like get around it other than like, you know, I don't have ads on my product, on my stream. Yeah, I don't know. That's the thing. Like, if I'm monetizing my content, you know, it just has to be a thing. But if I was making enough on like bits and stuff like that alone, like I'd probably stop running the ads. I probably wouldn't need them. But you know, it does contribute to, you know, it does contribute to the payout that I get. Even if it's just like a little bit, it still contributes to it. And you know, anyway, I don't really like discussing this because it's, you know, but you know, it is something I'd like to do. I'd like to get paid eventually for my stuff, but I don't know. Anyway. I don't know when I'm getting paid next. That's the thing. I don't think I've been paid for. I don't know. I can't remember. Right, I'm waffling on. Sorry, I shouldn't be talking about this. We get back to the game. Actually, I gotta go to the toilet. I'll be right back. Almighty Bing Bong. Is Drac really sexy?
Oh, you little fucker! Come here, I'm gonna kill him.
No, you cannot. He is my boy. He is my boy. Is Tungsten sexy?
Yeah, definitely.
He I mean, look, we can just keep doing this dance. It's fine. Spin! Well, Gannon, you suck.
There was
I remember that. Well, anyway, it's probably good at having that 3-minute break is probably good anyway. Because that's something I probably should do instead. Just have like whenever these ad breaks pop up, maybe I should just go on a BRB. Like maybe that should be maybe we should do that instead. So yeah. All right, anyway. I mean, you know, going on like a little break like every hour seems pretty reasonable, you know. It's true that I was the one who attacked Maya Fey. But even so, the murderer who actually snuffed out Misty Fey's life was none other than your darling little Maya. Ridiculous. That's nonsense. Are you sure about that? Just think about it. There's even evidence supporting these facts, isn't there? What? What do you mean? What is this so-called evidence? The fact that Maya Fey has disappeared is evidence enough, isn't it? Huh?
The idea that she's still in the sacred cavern is just ridiculous.
No, because you are Maya Fey at the moment. You are inhabiting Maya Fey's body.
She wasn't able to escape from the inner temple, that much is obvious. In that case, there's only one place she could be.
Where?
Do I have to spell it out? The bottom of the Eagle River. Where else?
Eagle River.
Maya Fey killed her long-lost mother. Can you imagine the guilt she must have felt when she realized that?
Yeah, but Dahlia, who are you?
That's why she threw herself into the Eagle River. Most bodies that wind up in there are lost forever. So, what do you have to say now, Feeny?
Oops. Oops. Sorry, that's my phone.
What kind of ringtone is that?
Godot here. Okay, thanks. Was it something important? They just finished removing the locks from the sacred cavern.
That's great. What about Maya?
There was a woman in the cave. Was it Maya Fey? It was the accused, Sister Iris.
Huh? Don't look so surprised. I locked her in there yesterday. I just finished telling you that.
So, what about Maya? Where is she? There is no one else found inside the sacred cavern.
No, it can't be. I told you, didn't I? She's dead. No.
No! No! It seems this case has come to an end. A tragic end. Sadly, it appears the killer of Elise Dunham, is also known as Misty Fey, was her own daughter, Maya Fey. Overcome with guilt for what she had done, Maya Fey jumped to her death into the raging waters of the Eagle River.
Can't be.
Trite. Have you ever heard of this one? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth, no matter how improbable it may seem. What is that supposed to mean, Prosecutor Godot? According to this witness, Maya Fey threw herself into the Eagle River. However, is that really the truth? Remember, this woman testified earlier that the bridge was already on fire when the murder was taking place in the garden. Which means if Maya had thrown herself into the river, it must have been from the inner temple side, near the bridge.
That's right. That's where she jumped from.
But that's impossible. It's impossible to jump into the river from there.
What?
Don't get your panties all twisted up, Trite. Just relax and think through the whole thing again. So it's impossible? Maya couldn't have thrown herself into the Eagle River? Well, Mr. Wright, Miss Hawthorne claims Miss Fey threw herself into the river from the inner temple side.
You know, if Dahlia is currently inhabiting the body of Maya Fey, why hasn't she just killed herself?
Any evidence that refutes the claim? Yeah, that. Also, why am I about to get punished? Hazakura Temple. Yeah. Okay, good. It's impossible to jump into Eagle River from the inner temple side. No one knows that better than this witness. What did you say? 11 years ago, you jumped into the very same river. Just take a look at this overhead map. As you can see, below the cliff on the inner temple side is a big rock shelf. Oh, you're right. She wouldn't have reached the river if she had jumped off from there. In other words, if she had jumped, we should be able to see her body in this photo. So you finally figured it out.
No!
Order!
You're just playing with me. Maya Fey's body is at the bottom of Eagle River. There's nowhere else she could possibly be hiding.
See, who else could have been in the sacred cavern but Maya, you know? I'm like, it doesn't really make sense. Like, come on, Wright. Miss Hawthorne, have you ever heard this one before? Once you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains must be the truth?
Yes, just a few minutes ago.
Maya Fey wasn't inside the sacred cavern. We now know that she didn't throw herself into the Eagle River. Correct. That eliminates all the most likely possibilities. Now, although it seems improbable, there's still one other place you could be. What? What is this one possibility you're talking about?
That's obviously a bluff. So where is her dead body then?
Finally, I think the pieces are falling into place. Normally the living have no way to punish the dead. But I think there is a way to give Dahlia Hawthorne the ultimate punishment. Shall I tell you, Miss Hawthorne? Shall I tell you where Maya is this very instant? Maya Fey is... this very courtroom. There's only one possibility left. Namely, she's right here in this very courtroom. What? Maya Fey is here? You say she's here in my courtroom? Dahlia Hawthorne? I seem to recall that you said I had misunderstood one thing, you see.
So what?
I think there's one more thing you misunderstood.
What do you mean?
Tell me something. At this very moment, who is channeling Dahlia Hawthorne?
Why, that's obvious. It's Pearl Fey, that pathetic little sniveling runt.
Yeah, no, because Pearl's been, you know, we've seen her the entire time. Wow. She really did think that she's Pearl. Did she really think she's Pearl? You're wrong. Pearl's tried, but she couldn't do it.
I've never failed at channeling someone. This is the first time it's happened.
Isn't there any explanation for why you couldn't channel a spirit?
It could happen if someone else was already channeling the same spirit.
Someone called me before Pearl did?
But who?
Pearl's even tried again on the day after the crime. But she couldn't do it. What could that mean? I think the truth is becoming clearer to you. Right about now, am I correct? It wasn't Pearls that channeled you. There was someone who called you before she could. This is an easy one. Pearls couldn't do it, and Misty Fey is gone. There's only one possibility left. Come already. I can't stand the tension. Dahlia Hawthorne? The person channeling you right now must be Maya Fey. What? But how could that be? Remember that this witness Dahlia Hawthorne said about her goal? She said that her goal was to kill Maya Fey. Yes, that's right. But if Maya channeled the spirit of someone that was trying to kill her... well, Gramps, what would happen? Could it be... It looks like you finally understand, Your Honor.
But, well, I don't. What are you going on about?
What I'm going on about is the reason Maya channeled you. There's only one reason. To protect yourself from you.
To protect yourself? From me?
Yes. On the night of the crime, you were only interested in one thing. Killing Maya Fey. The path back to Hazakura was closed off and there was nowhere for her to run. So then the problem became, where would be the safest place to hide?
You mean, that's when she channeled me?
And this time you thought you had been channeled by Pearls. All this time you had thought you had been channeled by Pearls. That's why it never occurred to you. That Maya's hiding place was you.
No, don't say that. You're saying that Dahlia Hawthorne, was played for a fool by that little whelp. Maya Fey killed herself, isn't it obvious?
Objection!
Sorry, but no. It would have been impossible for her to jump into the Eagle River. This was the only avenue of escape open to Maya. The only way that Maya could disappear from the inner temple.
I don't believe you. A stupid little girl like that who has never been out in the real world. She could never have come up with a plan like that. Who could have ever given her such a brilliant idea?
Well?
Me, of course. Mia Fey?
Wait. If Pearls was there, how come she didn't see Pearl? If she was channeling Pearl, and then... she thought she was channeling Pearl. But Pearls was there. Did she not see Pearl? Did she not know what Pearl looks like? I guess it's that. She doesn't know what Pearl looks like. Maybe. I don't know.
It's been a long time, Dahlia Hawthorne.
So it's true. It was you.
Yes.
There's something else.
But what are you doing here?
That hair. It's Pearl's, right?
Tell me something, Dahlia. I want you to think back to the night. I want you to think back to that night one more time.
Booba booba.
Hooba booba. Pearl's shorter than the desk. I guess maybe she didn't see Pearls because she was just that fucking short. Just couldn't see her. She doesn't notice the child.
You had just cornered Maya in the inner temple's garden. And then, in the final moments of the fight, you lost consciousness. I was stabbed by Maya Fey. Actually, Maya lost consciousness at the same time as you.
She did? Not terribly surprising since she was about to be killed.
When she woke up, she was in the training hall. That's when Maya decided she needed help. So she channeled me. She explained in a memo the situation she was in. She asked me what I thought she should do. She did that? I can't believe it. Of course, I didn't have all the details. But one thing was perfectly clear. And that was, I knew that you couldn't be allowed to wander free.
Free?
What do you mean? It was a race against time. So I wrote down 2 things that Maya had to do. Channel Dahlia Hawthorne as soon as possible, and lock herself in the sacred cavern until help arrived. So it was Maya who put the lock there. So it was Maya who put that lock on there.
Yes, but why did you order her to do those two things?
If she hadn't done it, Dahlia Hawthorne would have been channeled by someone else. By one Pearl Fay. Pearls. Yes, Pearl didn't probably understand the plan. So all she was trying to do was follow her mother Morgan Fay's instructions. If she had succeeded in channeling Dahlia Hawthorne's spirit, two things would have turned out very badly, to put it mildly.
So that's how it was. Dahlia Hawthorne would have used the body of Pearl Fay to kill Maya at all costs. Yes, it certainly sounds like that was the intent all along.
How dare you? I won't forget this.
Why not just admit it, Dahlia Hawthorne? Your little plan was nothing but a big failure.
Yes. Another failure to add to the pile of shame, wouldn't you say? What do you mean by another?
Think about it, Dahlia. Remember all your past crimes? Not a single one of them was a success. They all ended in failure.
What? How dare you?
11 years ago. The fake kidnapping. Your very first crime. You got your hands on $2 million diamond, but after Terry Falls escaped and went to meet with Valerie Hawthorne, the truth was exposed.
Shut your mouth. That wasn't my fault. It was because of that stupid oaf of a prisoner and that weakling of a policewoman.
And then 1 year later, you tried to kill me. Well, I'm still alive, but you wound up killing someone else. As a result, you were sentenced to death. I mean, a kid older than Pearl was shorter than the witness stand. Yeah. Sorry, I just read that now. 3 minutes later. It's one stupid move after another for you. It's no longer funny.
You. Wipe that smug, happy-go-lucky smile off your face.
And now this. You've messed up again. You let Maya Fey escape. Even though she was right there in front of you.
Mia Fey. Mia Fey, Mia Fey, Mia Fey! You spinster. I was supposed to kill Maya Fey like I swore I would. And if you had gotten this spiky-haired jerk to... And if only you had gotten this spiky-haired jerk to the guilty verdict, I wouldn't have been hanged to death. True. But I think you finally understand, Dahlia Hawthorne. You will never defeat me. What? What did you say? Whether you're alive, dead, or somewhere in between, you will never defeat me. As long as I'm around, you're destined to lose for all eternity.
I remember what you said earlier in the trial. You said there was no way we could punish you. Because you were already dead.
What about it?
Then you said, even when the body dies, the spirit, the ego, it lives on forever.
That's very true, Dahlia. And that's exactly the punishment you'll never be able to escape from. For all of eternity, you'll have to remain as Dahlia Hawthorne. A miserable, pathetic, weak creature who can never win at anything. And for you, there is no escape from that. no hope of freedom. Since the day you were executed, the narrow bridge that once stretched out in front of you has burnt to a crisp. You're wrong. It can't be. How could I lose to the likes of you? It no longer matters. I don't care whether you win or lose anymore. The only thing I want is for you to come out of Maya's body right now. She's about to have an aneurysm. Oh dear. I'm not ready. Not ready to go. Nick, sis? Well then. Man, I think she went to hell. Did we just bully a ghost back into the afterlife? Yeah. I think we fucking did. We bullied her back to hell. I don't think anyone's gonna fucking try to channel her now. Morgan Faye can't. She's a fucking mute. You know, she's an equivalent of a newt. Now then, I assume you are the real Iris? Yes, I was just rescued from the sacred cavern. I must say, you and your twin sister are indeed identical from what I can see. In any case, it appears that everything has finally been cleared up. Mr. Godot, what happened to Dahlia Hawthorne? If you ask me, Your Honor, it looks like she went back to hell she came from. Back to the hell she came from. Man. I'm trying to also think, okay, so now Misty Faye is dead. So that's a thing now. It seems that Misty Faye wasn't the only victim of this crime. Maya Faye, as well as the young Pearl Faye, were also victims of this wicked and selfish plan. Yes, Your Honor. The tragedy of Medium Valley has finally come to an end, it seems. Are we gonna punish Morgan Faye even further? Are we gonna, like, give her a sentence, like, extend it to fucking, like, life? Because she basically, you know, she's conspired to murder again. You know, she conspired to murder the first time around, to frame someone. And, yeah, now she's conspired again. I think maybe we can extend her fucking sentence, Your Honor. I'll gladly be the defense attorney and I will gladly get a guilty verdict. I'll be a defense attorney, I'll get the guilty verdict, and yeah. I just won't even try. Won't even try. Your Honor, this person is guilty. You have any objections, defense? No. No, she's guilty. I object to one thing. She's not just guilty, she is guilty! Anyway, it would be best for everyone if no further attempt was made to channel that spirit again. Your Honor? Yes, what is it?
about this whole spirit medium thing. It's almost weird how comfortable you seem to be with the concept now. Well, to be frank, my younger brother is quite judgmental. He often criticizes me for not studying hard enough. That's why I made a concerted effort to study up on the Korean channeling technique. Hey, isn't that the new year issue of Occult? I've seen quite a few things in my many years on the bench, and in all that time I finally learned this one thing. Each case is different and takes place in its own world, if you will. In order to fully understand that world, first we have to immerse ourselves in it completely. And that's where my brother and I used to differ.
Never thought of it that way.
At any rate, it's time to pass judgment in the case of Iris of Hazakura Temple.
Objection!
You're a little too fast with that gavel, Your Honor. What do you mean by that, Mr. Godot?
This trial, it isn't over yet. That's what he means. It isn't over yet. That's what he means.
What? Trite. Remember what Miss Evil Spirit said in her testimony?
Huh?
Dahlia's testimony?
I caught up with her in front of the stone lantern. Then I took out the dagger I got from the storeroom and... It's strange, but I don't have a clear memory of what happened after that. I think I was stabbed. Just as Dahlia Hawthorne was about to attack Maya, she was stabbed and killed by someone.
Yes, that's right. The person that was ultimately killed was the spirit medium that channeled Dahlia. Elise Dunham. No, Misty Faye. But who killed her? We still don't know who did it. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Like, you know, this whole thing is kind of wrapping up a bit fast, but that is a good question.
This isn't over yet?
Unless someone else is found guilty, the accused is still on trial. We can't let her walk until there is evidence that proves her innocence.
No way.
But this court isn't prepared for any further testimony. The prosecution is ready to call a final witness.
Final witness?
This one will clear up the whole mystery. The mystery of who killed Misty Faye. Indeed.
Is it really all right, Mr. Prosecutor?
Of course it's all right, Madame Attorney. Very well then, who is this final witness? Isn't it obvious? There's one person that saw the whole event and will put the final dagger in this case. Someone who saw the murder take place? The very person who saw her mother killed in front of her own eyes. You mean Maya? She can't testify after what she's been through? We need to find the truth. The prosecution calls Maya Fey to the witness stand. Very well. First, we'll take a brief recess. We'll have to wait for Miss Fey to recover before summoning her. Once we receive the doctor's permission, we will proceed with the trial. Hey, Trite. I've got something to say to you, so listen up.
What is it?
I don't think much of you as a lawyer. It's always the same with you. You somehow manage to just squeak by without even a faint understanding of the case. Some beautiful woman always seems to come dashing in at the last minute to save you. You've got some nerve. But that's not going to happen this time. This time, you're going to have to do this by yourself. That's enough. This court is now in recess.
I'm truly sorry about everything. You were working so hard to defend me. But I was missing all day and we didn't even have a chance to talk.
She's right. When I met Iris at the training hall yesterday, they had already switched places, and Iris was inside the sacred cavern.
I wanted to at least be in the defendant's box today to root you on.
Well, it wasn't your fault. You were locked up this whole time. There's something more important than that, though. I have to ask you. Why did you help your sister out as much as you did?
Huh?
If you had tried to get help at the Sacred Cavern yesterday, you wouldn't have spent an entire day locked up in there.
My sister. I felt sorry for her. She was abandoned by our mother and never got any love from our father either.
Yes, but it was the same for you too, wasn't it?
Yes, but at least I had Sister Bikini who was like a mother to me. If only Dahlia had come with me to Hazakura Temple. I always loved her. Dahlia was always so smart, so strong. She never complained about a thing. That's why I promised her that I would help her.
Are you talking about the Fate kidnapping case 11 years ago?
Yes. I wanted to be useful to her in some way. But as usual, I was too cowardly. At the last minute, I ran away. Because of that, Dahlia's stepsister, Valerie, ended up...
That was the case that wounded Mia so badly.
But things didn't end there, of course. Some people suspected that my sister was involved in the murder.
Some people? You must mean...
Yes, 2 defense attorneys. Mia Fey and Diego Armando. After poisoning Mr. Armando, it was getting too close to learning the truth.
Oh, wait! Oh, wait a second. So that was the defense attorney that got poisoned in that case.
Dahlia even tried to kill the person who had unknowingly hid the poison for her. You.
That's right. Iris, there's one more thing I have to ask you.
Yes? What is it?
Undenied the murder. The person that cleaned up the corpse of the victim. Elise Dunham. Elise Donham. Was it really you?
Yes. It was me. That night after I rang the lights out bell, I went back to my room. At around 10:30, I received a call on my cell phone.
There's a problem. Come to the inner temple right away.
I got on the snowmobile and headed for the inner temple. But
the path to the inner temple was cut off, right?
Exactly.
We can't just leave the body here. So you've got to do this exactly as I say, got it?
It was me. I was the one that received her body. The murder weapon had been left in her body so she wouldn't bleed too much. The staff that Mystic Elise always held. I knew it. So the actual murder weapon was the staff. Yes, that's right. I brought the body back to Hasakura Temple on the snowmobile. But why did you alter the body? I didn't want anyone to know that the staff was the murder weapon. I didn't want to leave anything that would lead back to Misty Faye. So I dressed her in a robe and stabbed her with the Shito. I wiped the blood of the staff's blade and left it next to her on the ground. Iris, just tell me one last thing. Tell me the name of the person that called your cell phone. The real killer. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I can't do it. I can't say who did it. I see. There's a sword inside the actual weapon used to murder the victim. Defendant? Yes?
The judge is calling you. He wants you to see you in his chambers. He has some questions about Dahlia Hawthorne.
All right. Well then, I'll see you later. There's something I want to tell you.
Oh, okay.
Something she wants to tell me. So it's true. Iris cooperated with the real killer. Maybe even from the very beginning. Phoenix? Mia. How is Maya doing? Physically, I'm not worried. She'll recover completely. But emotionally, she's been hurt very badly by this case. I see. You don't mean she's learned who at least Donham really was? Yes. I went to the medical office and talked with her. I told her everything I knew. But why? Maya is stronger than you think. I knew she could take it. All of it. What do you mean by that? I want you to figure that answer out for yourself. The trial is about to restart. The real killer? Do you know who it is yet? Iris wouldn't tell me who called her, but still. I think just maybe, I know who it was. That night, the victim was killed in the garden of the Inner Temple. And the criminal wasn't just there by accident. Which means that the killer knew of Dahlia's plan from the very beginning.
Wait a minute.
Have we checked if she's still alive? Have we checked if she's still fucking alive? She's in solitary confinement, but has someone checked on her?
How do you do it?
Okay, this is so. It's possible that Pearl did channel someone. She might have forgotten about it. I don't know. Yeah, maybe she's been rehabilitated, so I wonder what therapy can do. Yeah, all of a sudden she comes back and she's a fucking hippie. She's gotten rid of that ridiculous hairdo, she's let it hang out, and she's wearing fucking colorful clothing. She's wearing a shirt saying legalize cannabis. Because in this California, in this In this reality of California, they've banned cannabis. Cannabis is a 10-year sentence. Possession of cannabis is a 10-year sentence. Oh god, it is a... Let's just nuke California. I'm telling you, just do it. Fucking do it right now. It will be the death of the entire country. If you let it exist, if you let it fester, it will destroy the entirety of the United States of America. We must remove the tumor that is California. Okay, all right. I'm gonna stop being an evil genius and continue with this.
And one more thing. The victim was moved to Hazakura Temple side by pendulum. In other words, the criminal couldn't cross the bridge. That means they were stuck on the inner temple side for almost an entire day. Exactly. So the culprit was someone that wasn't in Hazakura Temple the following day.
Possession. If you use it without physically holding it, you're cool. So basically, you light it and then you don't hold it with your hands. You just pick it up with your mouth and just continue smoking. And it's like, I don't possess it. I'm not holding it in my hands or in my pocket. It's in my mouth. As far as I'm concerned, I'm just consuming. You can't get me for consuming, only for possession. And you can't get me for being high. It's not even a crime. It's not a crime to be high. It's only a crime to be drunk in a public park. Or, you know, doing other crimes whilst under the influence. Or doing other things whilst I'm not driving a car. I'm just sitting here in my own filth. I'm not hurting anyone, I'm not doing anything, I am literally just here, I am chill. You can't get me for merely smoking it. Anyway.
That's as much help as I can give you. The rest of the battle is yours to win. Or lose. Okay, I've got it. Thank you, Mia. Finally. It's almost time to bring this case to an end. What exactly did Maya see anyway? And who was it that actually killed Misty Faye? Whoever it was, I have to prove it. Me. All by myself.
Man, I was kind of hoping I'd wrap this up by now, but I'm gonna have to continue this, possibly Saturday, I guess. Which is Friday for everyone else. Dear. Dearie me. Okay. Let's save the progress. Alrighty. Well, like I said, that's going to be it for me. I think, yeah, I thought I'd be finishing it tonight, but yeah, I've run out of time. God damn it. But I've had fun nonetheless, just with some of the ridiculous shit. Yeah, this entire, like, playthrough of Ace Attorney has just been me shitting on California, mostly. So, yeah. Oh, dear. Anyway, it is time. All right. Well, anyway, I'll leave everyone to it. I'll be back tonight. Either way, it's late for early morning for you Americans, unfortunately. But anyway, if you guys can make it, I'll see you then. But of course, thank you very much for watching. Thank you for lurking. Thank you for chatting. Thank you for dropping by, say hello. Whatever you did, thank you very much. You're awesome. Hope you realize that. And I will see you again for the next one, whenever that may be. Still didn't get a fucking schedule out. Because I'm a dickhead. But, yeah. I will try to get something. At least to, show you, like, what I'm doing for the weekend, so... Yeah. Anyway, guys, thanks again. But as always, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what time it is, stay safe and have a nice day.